Mr. Gray, Nigeria is a country with so much going for it. A young and hugely talented population, massive natural resources, and a rapidly developing economy. If the End SARS protesters secured the reform and the improved governance they're demanding, Nigeria could become a formidable economic powerhouse. And the diaspora community here can be a vital bridge linking our two countries in a brighter future of increased trade and prosperity in the years to come. Thank you.
This House considered e-petition 554150 related to Nigeria and the sanctions regime. Kate or someone?
Thank you, Mr. Gray. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship, and I thank the honourable member for chipping and Barnett for her passionate opening for this debate. I would also like to thank Silas Oja for creating this petition, which now has more than 220,000 signatures, including almost 2,000 of my own constituents in Edmonton who signed the petition we are debating today. And I'm sure that I'm not the only member to have been inundated with messages from constituents in recent months, urging them to do whatever they can to lend their voice to the End SARS protests. As the chair of the All-Party Group for Nigeria, I was particularly keen to speak on this debate and highlight the need for the UK to stand with the Nigerian people against an increasingly cruel and brutal regime. The situation in Nigeria is incredibly serious, with tragedy after tragedy unfolding on the streets in state after state, as the Nigerian government and its security forces take ever more repressive measures to end a protest movement, which has given hope to millions across the globe. The End SARS movement is not just about disbanding the special anti-robbery squads. It is a movement led by the youth of Nigeria who took to the streets of Nigeria peacefully, demanding an end to brutality, extortion, and extrajudicial executions, and for a truly democratic Nigeria. The bravery of the youth-led movement will never be defeated. Today, we need to consider how the government should respond to both the movement itself and the violent actions of the Nigerian regime. However, we must also take this opportunity to look beyond sanctions to a way in which development funding is spent in Nigeria. Instead of funding corrupt security services and investing in projects which do not benefit ordinary Nigerians, we need a new focus on poverty relief and anti-corruption programmes. Mr. Gray, it is vital that we recognise the role of the UK and how these events have unfolded in Nigeria. Despite previously stating the opposite, the government has now admitted to funding SARS units for the last 4 years. That funding not only included the provision of training to those units, but the supply of equipment. At the very moment in which Amnesty International had declared SARS units to have been involved in extrajudicial killings, corruption and torture, the government was using the aid budget to train and equip those units. In fact, between 2016 up to this year, more than 10 million went towards programmes from which SARS units benefited. That is not only immoral, it makes it harder for UK to play a positive role in Nigeria during this vital period. How can the government, with a straight face, call for an end to violence against protesters, having helped train and equip the security forces who are carrying out that violence? So today, I hope the Minister will publicly apologise for the decision to fund SARS units and pledge a full and independent inquiry into this matter. Mr. Gray, the 20th of October 2020 will be remembered as the Lekki Tollgate massacre, the day a deliberate and coldly calculated attack on peaceful Nigerian civilians was carried out by the Nigerian army. The Nigerian government has since taken part in an attempted cover-up of this massacre. Security forces in Nigeria make muted responses to the murder of protesters. While governments across the world have called on the Nigerian government and the security forces to stop killing protesters, The UK government has hedged its bets, issuing only weak and timid statements. It is therefore a gift to the Nigerian government when our government fails to explicitly condemn the Nigerian regime for killing its own citizens. So will the Minister today finally condemn the Nigerian regime for its part in the Tollgate massacre and the continued killing of peaceful protesters in Nigeria? Mr. Gray, the Nigerian government says that it has disbanded SARS, but the corruption and brutality of the security forces continues. The Nigerian government's violence against its own citizens appears only to be intensifying. The Nigerian government needs to stop freezing bank accounts of key protesters. It needs to stop illegal detentions of key protesters. The Minister of Information for the federal government went on record to state the CNN reporting of the massacre is, and I quote, fake news. This is undemocratic conduct and it really needs to be called out. So I ask that the Minister uses this opportunity to end the UK government's neutrality on this issue. The UK must never be neutral when it comes to human rights abuses. Are the rights and needs and dreams of young Nigerian people not the same as those that are here in the UK? The UK should not be a safe haven for anyone who denies their own citizens the same freedoms they come to enjoy in the UK. Mr. Gray, all too often, when a repressive regime is targeted with economic sanctions, it is the civilians who pay the price, while the regime itself becomes more entrenched and less open to change. But the UK government can use the sanctions under the global human rights regime, which targets individuals involved in human rights violations and abuses. So, if the UK's position is a global force of good, then I ask the UK government to add the names of the Nigerian government and the security services to the designated list of those responsible for the worst human rights abuses. As I come to a close, it is time for the UK to change course and stand in solidarity with those fighting for a new Nigeria. Let's stand together. Let's get rid of corruption, extortion, extrajudicial murders and massacres, because it's time for a new Nigeria. And I thank you.
As scheduled last night, the United Kingdom Parliament held a debate to look into the events that led to the peaceful protests that happened in Nigeria in October. A very cogent point that needed attention was the series of events that happened at the Lekki toll gate on October 20, 2020. According to Nigerians, men of the Nigerian army were mobilized and shot peaceful protesters, which led to the death of many. The Nigerian army and Lagos state government has, however, tried in many occasions to thwart this narrative with different stories hitting the headlines daily. In a bid to look into the matter and see whether there is a case of human rights violation, United Kingdom debated on the issues last night. The United Kingdom unanimously condemned the corruption and impunity that has infested a great nation. A parliamentarian called on the UK to do anything possible to make sure that corrupt Nigerians are not allowed to keep money in the United Kingdom. The UK Parliament unanimously decided to sanction Nigerian government and army officials who participated in the #EndSARS human rights violation. The Parliament insists that Nigerian officials should not enjoy the liberties they deny their citizens at home in the United Kingdom. Exactly, if you really watched that video, and that was one of the things the people that really presented the case or talked about the case in the Parliament, yes, they should sanction them. You know, I've said it before now that the only thing is not as if maybe they are going to change the corruption, they are going to change the mindset of the Nigerian officials or the Nigerian government. The only thing they will just do is just for them to say, oh, don't come to this place and coming here to enjoy. You can imagine, enjoy what they love to come and enjoy in this country, but they will not want to do the same or provide the same services for the people at home. Well, we are sick, we'll continue to push. And somebody was like, oh, even if they if they tell them not to even come to Nigeria, to the UK, they can go to other countries. At least that is how it's going to be working, because if it's happening in the UK, it could happen in other places as well. But you know that these people, the reason why this whole thing is taken to this UK parliament, these Nigerian politicians, they love outside things. They can't do it in their home. They love it. You can say, oh, it does not matter. They can go to another place. They can go to another country. But let me tell you, or they can stay back at home. The other day, Buhari was making mad that he has never traveled in his life, this and that. And people say, let him forget and stop deceiving people. A lot of the allegations against him that he has one or two properties in Dubai, they will come out and be lying to you. Let them continue. But one thing we know is that we'll try our best, and we are a believing people. We try our best and we leave the rest for God. They'll think they can get away with it. But a time will come, a day will come that they will all pay for all these atrocities. All of this is, some people say, oh, we are a sovereign country, we don't have to do this, we have to do that. Because we are part of the Commonwealth countries with the UK, which is not supposed to be. We are supposed to stand independently and do things on our own. But unfortunately, the people who have been saddled with that responsibility are not doing anything. And it's so frustrating. If you have your people at home that cannot help you, then you go outside and seek for help. And seek for help. If you can be proud of your leaders, why would you want to go outside and be seeking for help where you think maybe there is none? So guys, let's say your opinion and leave your comment below in the comment section. Thank you.